Welcome to the Scuttlebutt radio program with your hosts, Tom Claxton and Cal Walters. Radio for veterans by veterans. To get on the line, call 343-0106 now. Brought to you by Wind Creek Casino, Garberg and Clausen Attorneys, and SADS Healthcare. A show for veterans by veterans.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940-41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
I tell you what, as a vet, that is kind of hard to follow tonight, especially on our anniversary of the landing on Normandy. But we'd just like to thank you for joining us here on the Scuttlebutt Network radio program, the voice of the veterans for the veterans on 106.5 FM, and firing the shots heard around the world at scuttlebuttnetwork.com. You're on board with Tom Claxton. Cal is AWOL. Wait a minute.
Whoa, what?
I think, call the MPs.
Yeah, get somebody on it.
Yeah, well, he just chickened out on us tonight. I think he's being beautiful somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, he's pretty.
He's being pretty somewhere tonight on some stage, trying to do his thing. Both veterans of the United States Marine Corps. We're broadcasting live from Mobile, Alabama. We're happy to have you aboard as we.
Look at you.
Yes, I do know how to talk fast. As we embark on the most important and entertaining hour on the radio each week. As we tackle the issues and concerns vital to the welfare of our nation's most neglected asset, the United States military veteran. We have an outstanding show for you tonight, but first we want to thank some of our fan sponsors that make this show possible.
Okay, let's see if I can do my best, Tom.
Come on now, you don't need no Tom.
No, Tom, we want to thank our wonderful...
This is not Ed's Seafood Shed, so come on.
So you're going to interrupt me, right?
Right.
Yeah, we'd like to thank SADS, Garberg and Clausen, the Battleship USS Alabama Memorial Park. We want to say thank you to all of our sponsors and great listeners that are giving them the business that they deserve after they support all of our veterans and their veterans issues. We couldn't do this without you. And remember that this show is all about giving our veterans a voice on the issues that are important to them. So join the discussion at 343-0106 or 866-983-2777. You can also check us out on the TuneIn app, Tom. I don't know if you're familiar with this or not.
Okay, what's the TuneIn app?
Yeah, I'll explain later. It'll take too long.
By the way, guys and gals out here, this is Tricia Allen. She's our fine tech that works with us, does all of our website production, and she's better known as our trunk monkey. So stand by, guys. She's coming at us.
I'm covering their six. Just hold on.
All right.
So we're talking about the smartphone. I realize that kind of excludes you from the conversation there, Tom.
That's out of my league.
But you can listen to us on 106.5 FM tonight. Tonight's show is packed. So if we don't get to everything, guess what? You can go to my little home on the web, which is scuttlebuttnetwork.com, and hit that resource page for all the information that you need to know.
You know, it's kind of unbelievable the amount of attention that the network is developing out there. I understand we're, how many thousands of hits? 15,000 already?
We're upwards of 15,000 hits as of yesterday.
Awesome. Good job, Trunk Monkey.
Hey, you do what you can.
But, of course, today is the 68th anniversary of the D-Day landings, which began the ousting of Hitler from Europe and the defeat of Nazi Germany. And tonight's show is dedicated to the heroes of Normandy, and we are honored to be joined by veterans and Normandy heroes. I do use that word with pride, heroes, and the other people that have been on the air for the last couple of weeks know where they can put their ideas and what to do with them. I do consider them heroes. Paul Carroll and Meldon Hurlbut. Mel? It's a pleasure to have you on board here with us tonight. Big blazing 91? How many years?
How many years?
How old are you? Yeah.
Oh, I'm 60. I'm 90 years old.
Well, 60. Yeah. Is that what you tell a girl?
60 sounds 60? Good.
And dude's talking over here about. And all right, Paul, we got you in here on board with us, and I think you're a little bit older than that 90.
I'm 93.
93, going on 61.
Sure, man.
Well, it's a pleasure to have both of these gentlemen on board here with us tonight, and we want to talk a little bit about their service and the things that they incurred, where they landed at Normandy. They were both involved with that operation. And one of them was airborne. The other one actually hit the beaches. So it's neat to really have these guys on board. And we'd like to, number one, we'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for your service. And we appreciate what you've done. And without you guys being there and doing what you did at D-Day, we wouldn't be here to be bitching and moaning about everything else. So, again, we appreciate you being there, and we appreciate the freedom that you help us sustain. Paul, how you feel about that, buddy?
I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, to be here and still be here 68 years, that's kind of like an anniversary, big old anniversary.
And review everything that I thought I knew.
That you thought you knew? All right. But, Mel, you've been kicking around here all this time. You're a pretty lively fellow as well. You been doing okay?
Doing fine.
Okay. What... We're remembering our heroes from Normandy tonight on the Scuttlebutt Network, and we'll have more from our heroes when we return. But we still have a minute or two. I think I got a couple of questions in with these gentlemen. Paul, what about your landing? I asked you earlier about landing at Normandy, and you indicated to me that you did not land at Normandy. You landed at Utah Beach.
Correct.
And that was a couple of days after the actual D-Day?
Right. Correct. If you want to put it down on exact, it would be 8 days.
8 days?
After D-Day.
Well, what were you confronted with even then? Was things kind of calm then on the beaches as you guys came on land?
Thank goodness they hadn't cleaned up the mess. The mess was still on the beaches, but they didn't have all the problems that they had during the D-Day landings. They were over, and fortunately we came in at a time when we can get off our LCTs, that's the landing craft tank, and I was with the 772nd Field Artillery Battalion, so we had to have a LCT to get my firing gun and tractor-driven
artillery
prime mover to move it, and there you go.
Okay, it's right. His head is so.
But anyway, it was a lot better than they had it on D-Day.
Okay.
But it was still going on, especially a few miles inward.
All right. Well, let's take a little short break here, and we'll get a word from these fine sponsors, and we'll be right back with these two great warriors.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Adam boys, give it a gun. Down we dive, spouting a flame from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, we'll down in flame. Nothing will stop the U.S. Air Force.
The Sad family's tradition of caring started with John and Dorothy Sad more than 3 decades ago. The Sad Healthcare family has grown to more than 400 employees, but we're still the same local people you've known for years, offering in-home nursing services, hospice care, rehabilitation therapies, and medical supplies and equipment. Our goal has never changed, offering home healthcare services with integrity, professionalism, and above all, compassionate care. Stop by any of our Gulf Coast locations and you'll see Sad Healthcare's family tradition of caring in action.
When was the last time you visited America's most unique military attraction? Not sure where it is? Well, it's right here in Mobile Bay. USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park, home to the World War II hero battleship USS Alabama, and also America's oldest existing submarine, the USS Drum. See more than 24 historic aircraft from the last 7 decades, plus boats, tanks, memorials, and other exhibits to all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces. Located on Mobile Bay, I-10, exits 27 or 30. Open at 8 a.m. daily except Christmas Day. USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park, where memories are made.
Attention veterans. If you've been turned down for veterans disability or you're not satisfied with your disability rating, call the Veterans Disability Lawyers at Garberg and Clausen today. Don't let the VA deny your claim or pay you less than you deserve. Let Garberg and Clausen fight for your veterans disability benefits. Call the Veterans Disability Lawyers at Garberg and Clausen today, 343-1111. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Mitch Kuchera here with Sweat Tire Companies. Sweat Tire is a locally owned business that's been around Baldwin and Mobile counties since 1963. Sweat Tire is your one-stop shop for a complete line of quality tires and automotive services from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Goodyear, and Hercules tires to brake repairs, air conditioning repair, oil changes, front-end work, alignments, and nitrogen. At Sweat Tire, our friendly and knowledgeable staff can assist you with most of your car care needs. Come see us at Sweat Tires.
I am Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, your senior drill instructor. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to, and the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be sir. Do you maggots understand that? Sir, yes, sir. Can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair. Sir, yes, sir.
It's Scuttlebutt Radio with your hosts, Tom Claxton and Cal Walters. Radio for veterans, by veterans. To get on the line, call 343-0106 now.
At ease. I want you to remember that this war on terror, as well as our presence in the Middle East, is necessary and inevitable. To those who can't understand that, they need to spend more time on the History Channel and less time in the goddamn chat rooms. In this time of nuclear weaponry, we cannot afford to wait for the fight to come to us. You need to understand that. This political correctness stuff's a bunch of crap. This generation is so goddamn spoiled and lazy, they wouldn't know a real threat to their freedom until it interrupted the power source to their Xbox and killed 500,000 people. The complacency of fools will destroy them. That's written in the Bible. My God, I really wonder where we'd be today if some of our current members of Congress were residing during World War II. I think we'd all be speaking German right now, and the world would have a serious shortage of Jews. These people like Harry Reid. That son of a bitch is like a man in combat who won't provide you the cover fire you asked for, so you end up getting your goddamn head blown off. People like him don't know anything more about the process of defending modern freedom than they do about fornicating. Now, all this stuff you've heard about America not wanting to fight, wanting to pull out of Iraq, is a lot of horse dung. Americans, traditionally, will protect their freedom. All real Americans love a good fight.
Welcome back to the Scuttlebutt Network radio program, broadcasting live from the studios in Mobile, Alabama on 106.5 FM and firing shots heard around the world on scuttlebuttnetwork.com. Our numbers 3430106 and 866-983-2777. And you can also catch us on the TuneIn app for your smartphone. Before we jump back in the discussion, we want to invite everyone to check us out on Facebook, and you can also follow Cal on Twitter at Cal_SBN.
And as one of the co-hosts of the show, I apologize for the language that occurred there in that segment. I don't have any problem whatsoever with what he was saying except the verbal use of the GD, and I'm not there. We don't condone it, and it was an error. So as I say, I apologize for that, and we don't want to do anything to embarrass the station or ourselves on the one hand, even though we've got a pretty good set of gonads. But also we have some distinguished veterans here with us tonight, and we don't want to do anything that would, be disrespectful to these gentlemen. But tonight we are remembering the 68th anniversary of the D-Day landings and honoring some of our local heroes, and we are joined here in the Scuttlebutt seat by veterans and Normandy heroes, Paul Carroll and Melton Herbert. Mel, what outfit were you in when you landed over there, and did you land on the beach, or how did you get into France?
I was a paratrooper, and I jumped into Normandy about 12:30 in the morning of D-Day. The unit I was in was Company B, the 505 combat team, 82nd Airborne Division.
82nd Airborne. Hoorah. Yes, yes. You know what? Paul was kind of talking to me a while ago about the fact that you didn't have to come in on the sand over there like he did.
He wasn't talking to you. He was straightening you out.
Yeah, and then here you are. You go in with a parachute over there and casually just sail in, on your little...
Sounds good.
Yeah, just sail in on your little parachute and land out there, next door to one of the farmers' houses, and, and they waiting on you there to fix you something to eat and everything, That's the way it was, wasn't it?
It all sounds good, but it wasn't true.
That wasn't true worth a damn, was it? Well, let me ask you a question. What did that pilot tell you guys when y'all were getting ready to jump out of that perfectly good airplane?
When we got over the drop zone, the co-pilot got out of his seat up in the front of the plane and came back with a .45 pistol in his hand and said that he had direct orders to shoot any man that faltered in the door. In other words, you had to get out of that airplane.
Yeah. You didn't have no damn choice but to jump, did you?
I had no qualms about that.
Do you think he had blanks in that 45?
I know he did not.
But when you guys landed over there, do you have any idea about how many was in that group of invasion? I heard something like 20-something thousand today. On some of the news
reports. It's unbelievable. You could look out the portholes in that airplane and see airplanes from one horizon to the other.
I understood that there was like 20,000 airborne troops that landed, like you guys came in there around midnight or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then the troops came in there.
He wasn't looking at his watch.
You wasn't looking at your watch?
No, I was not. I didn't have a watch.
You didn't have a watch. They took your pocket watch away from you. You didn't have wristwatches in there.
I didn't need one.
I hear you. But I understood that there was over 20,000 airborne that came in there around midnight, and then the troops hit the beach at I think somewhere around 6 o'clock that morning, 0600.
They scattered us.
Yeah, I'll bet. So then, what did you do then? You progressed towards towards the country, inboard of the country, or what?
Well, we had a collection point.
Okay.
But when I hit the ground, I mean, I was miles away from there. But I went to a crossroads that I thought that might be a nice collection point. But I was with the 1st platoon, the 3rd platoon, and was going to go take the city of St. Mary Glees. And I was supposed to stay away from there. But I was in there with them at that time. Whenever we got to the collection point, and I stayed with them until we found some more of my crowd.
Some of your outfit, huh?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, you must have not. I see these parachutes, and when they come down now, and they pull on them and glide them in, and they come in and they go in and they drop in this little place over there. I don't think y'all had that kind of parachute, did you?
No. No. You're talking about a modern.
Oh, I was talking about one of these play toys.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't have that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we do appreciate you, and you appreciate your service. But that had to be a very enlightening situation to land like that, knowing what all was going on.
Well, you were lost and you knew it.
All right. Well, let's talk to Paul a little bit. Paul, you stated that you came in several days afterwards, and you landed on Utah Beach, and the fact that they had not cleaned up the beach, but you didn't have to land under fire, did you?
No. Didn't have to land under fire. In fact, as far as everything we were concerned, my mind just went blank.
It wasn't that bad of operation to come in. It was
just the time of getting off.
Okay.
And the captain of the LCT that we came in on handed us his tow rope. Handed me a rope.
Right.
Says, do something with this balloon when you get off. Every ship that left England in those days, all the LCTs, Langdon Craft Tank, had a barrage balloon attached to them. So when we got off at Normandy Beach, our Utah Beach, he handed me the rope and says, "Do something with this." Well,
yeah, you know what to do with it.
Sure. After as soon as we got about 100 yards down the road, I gave it to my sergeant, and I told him to do something with it.
There, you passed the buck, or passed it on to the buck. Huh?
I passed the buck.
Hey, that's the way you do it in service. Give it to somebody else. Well, what was your rank then? How did you pass it off to a sergeant?
I was a first lieutenant. I was a gunnery.
Oh, no damn wonder you was passing the buck. Yeah. You're one of those guys, huh?
That's right.
Yeah. What was your rank?
I was a sergeant. Private and a sergeant.
Private and a sergeant?
Yeah, private most of the time.
You wasn't like me. You didn't have problems keeping those stripes, did you?
I did. I didn't like the idea of taking orders from a guy dumber than me.
We got them separated. That's why I'm going on.
I'm glad we got them separated on the side of the road. Well, hell, Paul might have been a 90-day wonder. I don't know.
That's right. All right. I was a 90-day wonder in October of '42. That's when I got out of OCS.
Okay.
And joined the 172nd Field Artillery Battalion when I got out.
All right, you bad to the damn bone. I'm glad I got y'all separated now that I know one of you was an officer and the other one was an NCO. I mean,
sorry, baby, I got this.
Woo, you got this. All right, we're going to take a little break here and get a chance to come back here in a second and continue our conversation with our local heroes. And it's just awesome to be with these guys tonight. It just actually blows me away. We'll be right back.
FM Talk 106.5, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority, and Dr. Bill Williams.
We'll expect partly cloudy skies tonight with some patchy fog developing around daybreak, lows near 70 degrees. For Thursday, partly cloudy with isolated afternoon thunderstorms, highs near 90. And looking ahead to Friday, mostly sunny with a few afternoon thunderstorms and high temperatures in the upper 80s. This is meteorologist Dr. Bill Williams for FM Talk 106.5.
If you're looking for piping, 2 locally owned and operated companies have all the answers: Alabama Pipe and Supply and Universal Precast. APS provides construction, landscaping, civil engineering, and sewer system piping, and they pride themselves on providing prompt service and on-time delivery. Their customer service is second to none. APS also specializes in erosion control, soil and water separation, and slope and channeling control products in a variety of materials designed to fit your specific applications. Universal Precast specializes in storm boxes and industrial storm drains and covers. No job is too large or too small. Call David Jones and the professionals at Alabama Pipe and Supply and Universal Precast for all your piping needs. Located at 5721 Highway 90 West, Mobile. Call 653-1399. That's 653-1399. Alabama Pipe and Supply and Universal Precast.
Drive new BMW of Mobile 328i, half price, $15,795. Limited grand opening shipments. New BMW of Mobile 328i, half price, $15,795. BMWofMobile.com. Drive new BMW of Mobile 328i, half price, $15,795. Limited grand opening shipments. New BMW of Mobile 328i, half price, $15,795. BMWofMobile.com.
Hello, this is Ed Bridges, owner of Ed's Seafood Shed. We have some great new specials and some tried and true favorites.
We only have 60 seconds here. Let me do this one.
Okay, Barbara.
There's Mullet Monday starting at 4 o'clock. All the fresh fried mullet fillets you can eat, served with my famous garlic cheese grits, french fries, and hush puppies, all for just $10.95. And we've brought back lunch at Ed's on Wednesday night. Order from the luncheon menu all day long, open until close. Ed's been in the kitchen whipping up some great new lunch specials. Each weekday we have a new lunch special for just $7.95. And remember, at Ed's you can order from the lunch menu on Saturday and Sunday. There you go, Ed. That's how you do it. I got it all in.
No, you didn't, Barbara.
Oh, okay, Ed. Say it.
We cook our seafood just the way my mama cooked it. The old Mobile way.
Ed's Seafood Shed, just 3 miles east of the Battleship on the bay side of the causeway.
You gotta get to Ed's.
It's Scuttlebutt Radio with your hosts, Tom Claxton and Cal Walters. Radio for veterans, by veterans. To get on the line, call 343-0106 now.
We're here to mark that day in history when the Allied armies joined in battle to reclaim this continent to liberty. For 4 long years, much of Europe had been under a terrible shadow. Free nations had fallen. Jews cried out in the camps. Millions cried out for liberation. Europe was enslaved and the world prayed for its rescue. Here in Normandy, the rescue began. Here the Allies stood and fought against tyranny in a giant undertaking unparalleled in human history. We stand on a lonely, windswept point on the northern shore of France. The air is soft, but 40 years ago at this moment, the air was dense with smoke and the cries of men, and the air was filled with the crack of rifle fire and the roar of cannon. The Royal Winnipeg Rifles, Poland's 24th Lancers, the Royal Scots Fusiliers, the Screaming Eagles, the Yeomen of England's armored divisions, the forces of Free France, the Coast Guard's Matchbox Fleet, and you, the American Rangers. 40 summers have passed since the battle that you fought here. You were young the day you took these cliffs. Some of you were hardly more than boys with the deepest joys of life before you. Yet you risked everything here. Why? Why did you do it? What impelled you to put aside the instinct for self-preservation and risk your lives to take these cliffs? What inspired all the men of the armies that met here? We look at you and somehow we know the answer. It was faith and belief. It was loyalty and love. The men of Normandy had faith that what they were doing was right, faith that they fought for all humanity, faith that a just God would grant them mercy on this beachhead or on the next. It was the deep knowledge, and pray God we have not lost it, that there is a profound moral difference between the use of force for liberation and the use of force for conquest. You were here to liberate, not to conquer, and so you and those others did not doubt your cause, and you were right not to doubt. You all knew that some things are worth dying for. One's country is worth dying for, and democracy is worth dying for because it's the most deeply honorable form of government ever devised by man. The Soviet troops that came to the center of this continent did not leave when peace came. They're still there, uninvited, unwanted, unyielding, almost 40 years after the war. Because of this, Allied forces still stand on this continent. Today, as 40 years ago, our armies are here for only one purpose: to protect and defend democracy. The only territories we hold are memorials like this one and graveyards where our heroes rest. We in America have learned bitter lessons from 2 world wars. It is better to be here ready to protect the peace than to take blind shelter across the sea, rushing to respond only after freedom is lost. The strength of America's allies is vital to the United States, and the American security guarantee is essential to the continued freedom of Europe's democracies. We were with you then, we're with you now. Your hopes are our hopes, and your destiny is our destiny. Here in this place, where the West held together, let us make a vow to our dead. Let us show them by our actions that we understand what they died for. Let our actions say to them the words for which Matthew Ridgway listened: I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Strengthened by their courage, heartened by their value, and borne by their memory, let us continue to stand for the ideals for which they lived and died. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
And God bless America, and God bless our veterans, all of them, even from that day through today. But welcome back, and thank you for joining us tonight on the Scuttlebutt Network radio program, the voice of the veterans for the veterans on 106.5 FM, and firing the shots heard around the world on scuttlebuttnetwork.com. You're on board with Tom Claxton. Cal is AWOL as usual, tonight. We're glad that you've joined us to discuss the vital issues facing our veterans today. And our number is 251-343-0106 or 866-983-2777 to join in the discussion.
Before we move on, check us out on Facebook. And if you can't get enough of the Scuttlebutt, be sure to check us out every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on 104.9, broadcasting live out of Biloxi, Mississippi, or on the iHeartRadio app. You can also follow Cal on Twitter at Cal_SBN.
Be sure that's Cal on Twitter, not Tom on Twitter.
Hey, Trunk Monkey's on Twitter, too.
Oh, okay, Trunk Monkey. All right, now you can go to Trunk Monkey, what? What's the Twitter?
SBN_Trunk Monkey, just like it sounds.
Okay, you know I'm not going to say anything. But, of course, tonight we're remembering the 68th anniversary of the D-Day landings and honoring our heroes from Normandy, and we're honored to be joined here in the Scuttlebutt seat by veterans and Normandy heroes, Paul Carroll and Meldon Hurlbut. Mel, we were talking a little bit while ago before we went to the break about you landing over there out in the pasture with the cows, and y'all went over to the, where the farmer's house was, and they fixed y'all a big old steak dinner and everything.
No, it didn't work that way.
Oh, what was you doing there then? I mean, y'all wasn't out there
just trying to stay alive.
You tried to stay alive, huh?
Yeah.
But once you got there, what was your goal? What did they tell you were supposed to be doing? And let me just ask you this. I'm going to ask you, then I'll come back and ask Paul. What did you think you were there for? What were you told that you were there for? I mean, you're going into the largest combat zone in the history of the United States, and here you are, 20-something thousand of you guys parachuting in there. Then what did they actually tell you? I mean, we're going over there to kick some butt and take names. We don't like Hitler or whatever. I mean, what did they tell you guys?
Well, we were preserving liberty to start off with.
Amen.
Amen. Okay.
Hitler was doing his best to take the whole world.
Right.
But I'm glad that we decided to put a stop to it.
Well, you guys did an awesome job, and we certainly appreciate what you did. But then when you progressed from there, you finally gathered up with your unit that you were supposed to be in. Then y'all moved forward and headed towards where?
Well, we really didn't all get together until you see what happened. I got knocked out on the 7th day.
Oh.
And what happened, I was at a crossroads in my foxhole, and a shell, an 88 millimeter, came in and hit on the lip of the foxhole, and that cut my lights out. I didn't catch any shrapnel, but I got the blast, and I was unconscious for 6 or 7 days.
Damn.
And I woke up back in England. Undoubtedly, I showed some signs of life, or they would have buried me.
Well, that's positive.
Yes, that's a positive note, yeah. Well, I guess you were one of the first cases of PTSD, or, TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Yeah. Well, I had a headache for a long time.
Well, in that regard now, did they, you were able to stay in England for a while? Did they send you back to the front?
I sent right back to the company, and then we started getting ready for Holland, the invasion of Holland.
Okay.
See, I made the combat jump in Sicily, Salerno, Normandy, and Holland. 4 combat jumps.
Damn.
He's making pretty jumps is what he was doing.
You know what? We here in America, even here, I'm a Marine vet, but I didn't have that, that kind of confrontation in the actual war, like Second World War or something like that. But when I hear you talking about that, even being a vet, it just kind of blows my mind to know what you guys went through over there.
Yeah.
It's
well,
again, I say thank you.
Also, on top of this, I made the initial assault on Anzio down in Italy, and it's not well known, but there were more soldiers killed at Anzio than there were at Normandy.
Uh-oh. I didn't know about that.
That's a fact.
Didn't know about that. All right, Paul, give us a little insight on what your game plan was. You actually had some pictures here of one of the guns or something that you had, artillery pieces that you had, and y'all had one blow up on you. Where was that at?
That happened a few months later in the Bulge, during the Bulge.
Battle of the Bulge.
Battle of the Bulge.
And both of you vets were in the Battle of the Bulge.
I was, yes.
And Paul, you were too.
Right.
Damn. That's awesome.
These boys had lunch, is what it was.
Woo! That's awesome. All right, go ahead, Paul.
Huh?
Give us a little bit of insight there about your gun. That's it. One of your buddies or one of your guys got killed on that?
On that, yeah. My gunner of that particular gun got killed that night. Probably a bad shell or something. But anyway, the gun blew up and killed the gunner, and so we had to just take it on from there.
Man, I tell you what, that is just unbelievable to know. And and this gentleman Paul has got some pictures of the actual of the gun when it blew up. I don't guess you took that with a Polaroid or a Kodak, did you?
No, I didn't even take those 3 pictures. Somebody took them and gave them to me.
That's awesome. Okay. I tell you what, guys,
I was busy firing the pieces. The ones I had left.
How many units did you have in your artillery?
Well, in an artillery battalion, there are 3 batteries, ABC, and each battery has 4 guns. So I had 4 guns under me. I was in A battery.
All right.
And so we had 4 guns. Of course, this one blew up, so I had 3 until they replaced it.
There you go. All right, we are here remembering D-Day tonight and honoring our heroes from Normandy, and we've been honored to be joined here in the Scuttlebutt seat by veterans and Normandy heroes, Paul Carroll and Meldon Hurlbut. Thank you for sharing your stories with us, guys. And on the other side of the break, tonight's tirade features a very special guest commentary that you don't want to miss when we return to the Scuttlebutt Network.
Who jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green Beret.
When was the last time you visited America's most unique military attraction? Not sure where it is? Well, it's right here in Mobile Bay. USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park, home to the World War II hero battleship USS Alabama, and also America's oldest existing submarine, the USS Drum. See more than 24 historic aircraft from the last 7 decades, plus boats, tanks, memorials, and other exhibits to all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces. Located on Mobile Bay, I-10 exits 27 or 30. Open at 8 a.m. daily except Christmas Day. USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park, where memories are made.
Attention veterans. If you've been turned down for veterans disability or you're not satisfied with your disability rating, call the Veterans Disability Lawyers at Garberg and Clausen today. Don't let the VA deny your claim or pay you less than you deserve. Let Garberg and Clausen fight for your veterans disability benefits. Call the Veterans Disability Lawyers at Garberg and Clausen today, 343-1111. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The Sad family's tradition of caring started with John and Dorothy Sad more than 3 decades ago. The Sad healthcare family has grown to more than 400 employees, but we're still the same local people you've known for years, offering in-home nursing services, hospice care, rehabilitation therapies, and medical supplies and equipment. Our goal has never changed, offering home healthcare services with integrity, professionalism, and above all, compassionate care. Stop by any of our Gulf Coast locations and you'll see Sad Healthcare's family tradition of caring in action.
Joe Pound's Used Auto Parts salutes all American veterans and is proud to be a part of the Scuttlebutt Network.
Why don't you do what so many dealerships, garages, body shops, used car lots, and insurance companies do? Call Joe Pound's Used Auto Parts, 473-4896, 473-4896. It doesn't matter if you're looking for an engine or transmission or if you need something simple like an alternator or starter. Make sure you call Joe Pound's Used Auto Parts. They specialize in recycled auto parts, 1996 and newer, foreign and domestic. All used auto parts from Joe Pound's come with a 90-day standard warranty, and they deliver. You'll get expertise and courteous service from Greg at Joe Pound's Used Auto Parts. So if you need parts for your car, or if you need to find automotive parts and accessories at work, remember Joe Pound's Auto Parts, 473-4896. 473-4896. 2230 Boykin Boulevard, Mobile.
The following may not necessarily represent the views or opinions of this station, but they're coming around.
What is your major malfunction?
And now, the original pork-eating crusader,
Mr. Tom Claxton.
At ease. I want you to remember that this war on terror, as well as our presence in the Middle East, is necessary and inevitable. To those who can't understand that, they need to spend more time on the History Channel and less time in the chat rooms. In this time of nuclear weaponry, we cannot afford to wait for the fight to come to us. You need to understand that. This political correctness stuff's a bunch of crap. This generation is so spoiled and lazy, they wouldn't know a real threat to their freedom until it interrupted the power source to their Xbox and killed 500,000 people. The complacency of fools will destroy them. That's written in the Bible. My God, I really wonder where we'd be today if some of our current members of Congress were residing during World War II. I think we'd all be speaking German right now and the world would have a serious shortage of Jews. These people like Harry Reid. That son of a bitch is like a man in combat who won't provide you the cover fire you asked for, so you end up getting your goddamn head blown off. People like him don't know anything more about the process of defending modern freedom than they do about fornicating. Now, all this stuff you've heard about America not wanting to fight, wanting to pull out of Iraq, is a lot of horse dung. Americans, traditionally, will protect their freedom. All real Americans love a good fight. When you were kids, you all admired the champion football player, the fastest gamer, the greatest superhero, the toughest boxer. Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I don't give a hoot in hell if you're a Christian, Muslim, Jew, or a Buddhist. If you intend to take up arms to harm America or Americans, you will lose. Now we have the best equipment, facilities, the most technologically advanced weaponry in the world, and you can be thankful of that. Without it, there'd be a hell of a lot more dead. But a lack of freedom and misguided education can create enormous setbacks. In 1939, when the British ally Poland was attacked and occupied by Germany, do you know that that small island of Britain had the balls and fortitude to declare war on those Nazi bastards while we did nothing? We didn't want to get involved, we said. How dare we not learn from such things? This is not a goddamn video game. This is a modern fight for freedom and security of this nation and the world. Now, the current leader in Iran has made it very clear that he wants to destroy America and threatens a second Holocaust against the Jews. And this leader is attaining nuclear technology right under our noses. The difference between him and Hitler is that Hitler built up his war machine in secrecy. How stupid and ignorant should we be? If Hitler would have had nuclear weapons, he'd have used them. If Japan would have had them, they'd have used them. You had all better wake up. If it were up to me, we'd already be in Iran, and their leader would be one dead son of a... After World War II, there was a plaque laid in Germany which reads, "Never again, fascism." How dare you forget and allow it again? You all know the old saying, history repeats itself. Well, here we are. Now, there's one thing that you men and women will be able to say when you get back home, and you may thank God for it. 20 years from now, when you're sitting around your family with your grandson on your knee, and he asks you, "What did you do in the Great War on Terror?" you won't have to say, "Well, I listened to far-left bullshit, sat on my ass, and was more concerned with American Idol than I was about American security and freedom." All right, now you sons of and women, you know how I feel. Go on. I will be proud to lead you wonderful people into battle anytime, anywhere. That's all.
Where's your drill sergeant, men? Load up, sir! Load up, sir! So am I to understand that you men completed your training on your own?
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
These are exactly the kind of men I want working on the Scuttlebutt Network.
Boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka, boom!
Welcome back to the Scuttlebutt radio program, a voice of the veterans for the veterans on 106.5 FM and streaming live on scuttlebuttnetwork.com. I am Tom Claxton, an old Marine with just a little bit to say, the First Amendment right to say it, and with the fighting spirit to keep it. Normally I do the tirade, but, Patton had more stars than I did, so we let him have it tonight. But there's a lot of things there that we agree with, and then there's a lot of things that we may not. But I'll tell you what, when they put him in charge, he kicked butt and took names, and they didn't have to worry about getting run over or, giving up or surrendering when you were with Patton. But both of you gentlemen here on board with us tonight, what do you think about Patton's speech there, Paul? I mean, you're not, you like Patton, but I don't think you're in love with him, are you?
No, I'm not in love with him. I think he's a wonderful tactician.
Okay.
And even Eisenhower said he's a good tactician, but even Eisenhower didn't like him and almost kicked him out of the Army.
They worked on him pretty well, didn't they?
3 different times.
Yeah.
The best thing about Patton was his public relations officer.
He had some good PR people. Mel, what do you think, big guy?
Sir?
What do you think? You did you serve under Patton?
Again.
Did you serve under Patton?
Oh.
No.
I didn't like those traveling foxholes he had.
Traveling foxholes. All right. But that brings us to the close of tonight's edition of the Scuttlebutt radio program, the voice of the veterans for the veterans.
Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have enjoyed the show as much as we have. Again, a huge thank you to all of our sponsors. A shout-out to Golf Precision Shooting. Oh, I'm going to catch that tomorrow. If you've enjoyed the show, let us know, and if you didn't enjoy the show, tell it to the Marines.
Tell it to the Marines. We want to thank Mel Herbert and Paul Carroll for being here with us tonight. They have done an unbelievable job. And drop us a line in the meantime. Email us at Cal at Scuttlebutt Network or Tom at scuttlebuttnetwork.com. Tell us what you think and check out our great website, scuttlebuttnetwork.com, for more of the vital issues facing our veterans today. And by the way, where our president is out in California shopping with his wife, and we appreciate him doing all the great things he did done for our veterans today, remembering our D-Day.
Also, you can tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. when we will be broadcasting live on 104.9 and iHeartRadio.
And, of course, we look forward to joining you again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. when we will again tackle issues important to our veterans. Until then, please keep our warriors in your prayers, especially those that are in harm's way. God be with them and their families, and may God bless America and all of our fine veterans.
Amen.